Welcome to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami Hill Thomas. Glad you're joining us today as we discuss global national news, purpose, and perspective, all to edify, equip, educate, and elevate each of us to make a difference in our communities. Let's get started. On the global front, the world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly's high level meeting on tuberculosis have approved a political declaration with ambitious new targets for a 5-year advancement to end the global epidemic. The Power Up wants to share this information because 90% of TB cases can be prevented through prevention care services. The World Health Organization has recommended rapid tests as the first method of diagnosing TB, providing social benefit packages to all the people living with TB, and licensing at least one new tuberculosis vaccine, closing funding gaps, hopefully to have implemented by 2027. This global epidemic has taken the stage so much that political declarations are taking place across many countries as they set individual and national targets. The United Nations Foundation and the World Health Organization have taken the forefront on advocating so that the annual millions of people who fall to this sickness from the world's top infectious killer are able to begin to get treatment. We look at many of the TB vaccine accelerated council recommendations and see that there are those who are using licensing of new TB vaccines as a primary support to help end this disease. There are things that you should know about tuberculosis for those that might be both living with the disease and have them in the area, maybe your family members, or those that just don't aren't familiar with this. Do you know that every year 10 million people fall ill to tuberculosis? Despite the preventable and curable disease, 1.5 million people die from TB each year. Tuberculosis is the leading cause of death of people with HIV and major contributor to antibacterial and antimicrobial resistance. It's important that you get educated so that you can make a difference where you are. What is TB? TB affects millions of people worldwide, and it's spread through coughs and sneezes from untreated infected individuals. You simply get tuberculosis by breathing it in. Sounds familiar from a pandemic we just experienced, right? So your health is too important not to be educated about tuberculosis, aware and equipped on what you need to do to make a difference. Tuberculosis is an infectious disease that primarily impacts the lungs, that type of bacteria that is hard to cure, though it is curable. So at the Power Up, we want to acknowledge the fact that TB affects children younger than 5 and has a history of being in low income communities because of the hard inability to get affordable, acceptable medical treatment. You have the power to make a difference where you are. So as the World Health Organization elevates this disease, you can get resource and information by going to who.net. They are a global leader in healthcare. You can also get information on how to prevent the spread of tuberculosis in your area by going to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Again, one of the key agencies who was in the pioneer, in the forefront of the COVID-19 pandemic. Both of these entities have viable real-time facts and resources to not just help this global pandemic, those who are across the waters fighting this disease. But did you know that 13% of the United States population live with tuberculosis, deal with this disease? 13% of the total population. Family, that means our neighbors, our co-workers, our loved ones face this struggle. You can help to share how they can get resources and real-time information to help with prevention and treatment. Again, the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. We often think about global epidemics as that's their problem, that's in another country, something that someone else has to deal with. We're here to educate you that this is global, which means here in the United States as well. So wherever you are, remember that knowledge is power. How can you make a difference? Get educated, get equipped, and then walk in areas and mechanisms of prevention. Some of those we recently learned with the global pandemic: how to wash your hands, how to make sure that you get vaccines that might be necessary if your immune system is compromised, how you can limit exposure so that you can help live safely. And if you live with tuberculosis, I have news for you: that is not a death sentence. There are many who live a good life through a lifetime because they get treatment, they get services, medical care, so that you can be the best you possible. Family, the tuberculosis epidemic has elevated so much around the globe that countries are making political declarations. They're putting funds behind how to get resources to the communities so that those who are experiencing exposure or living with it can get the care they need. Why? Because we all matter, regardless of our skin color. This is a humanitarian effort because we're all one human race. Thank you, World Health Organization, for sounding the alarm on the tuberculosis epidemic. Family, stay educated, stay aware, and make the difference where you are. As we move forward with our show, we're excited to continue advancing many different causes and educating you. So stay tuned. There's more after this.
What's up, family? It's your girl, Terry Y. Hicks of the amazing Fab Five, and I am here to tell you to tune into the Empowered Morning Show Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the WIN Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. What an amazing opportunity we have to share facts about the Deaf Awareness Month. Advocates are assembling around the nation, around the world, to elevate that Deaf Awareness Month aims to increase public awareness about deaf issues, people, and culture, emphasizing the positive aspects of deafness, encouraging social inclusion, and raising awareness of organizations that support those who are deaf. I'm excited as the host of the Power Up to bring an advocate and his amazing interpreter. If you will, welcome Mr. Thyson Halley and his interpreter for more than 30 years, Miss Cheryl Henderson, who has interpreted for many presidents and celebrities. We welcome you, Mr. Halley and Miss Henderson, as we shine the light on Deaf Awareness Month. Welcome to the Power Up.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Give a big shout out to my interpreter, Ms. Cheryl Henderson. Thank you for interpreting tonight. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward for this interview and dialogue.
We're excited to have you, sir. Deaf Awareness Month. Certainly, many of us who push inclusivity understand that we don't need a month to acknowledge our family, wherever they are, whatever we live with. But, Mr. Halley, you are an advocate in the community. Tell us, if you will, what we need to know during Deaf Awareness Month.
What can I share about deaf awareness? Inclusion. Inclusion is big. I said this to some friends of mine just a couple of weeks ago. I am grateful for COVID. COVID really put us on the map. You saw more visual ASL interpreting. You saw more inclusion. Pre-COVID, you didn't see the interpreter. You knew they were there all the way in the corner. But now it's shift because there are millions of deaf individuals in America. Wow, that is a lot. And that is crucial. We have to remind ourselves, it's not about the hearing world. It's about deaf, visually impaired, those who have different abilities. I don't say disabilities, I say abilities, because they can achieve anything if they have their mind in the right path to do it. Like myself, I identify myself as deaf. You're probably looking at me like, he's talking. Yes, I'm talking. But I went to speech school. But let me go back before then. Growing up, I was born hearing. Then I became deaf through sickness, spinal meningitis. That caused me to lose my hearing, be able to talk, be able to walk, be able to move. But through my faith and my family faith, knowing that he's able to do what he said he can do, he healed me, he restored me. So I identify myself as deaf because I'm involved in the community. I do the work and I advocate and I stand for what I believe. If it wasn't for my late grandmother, educator for almost 50 years in the school system, involved in the church, from the South, knowing the background, doing civil rights, marching with Martin Luther King, and all of that, the history, the legacy, to understand I have to stand. That I'm just like anyone else. But like I said, I only have an ability, not a disability.
I love that. Thank you for educating us to understand there is a difference first and how important inclusion is. Can you share how you see that happening now versus and how you feel we should change that moving forward, including everyone, especially those who are deaf?
It's bigger. It's bigger. Get involved. When you plan events, I use that for an example, many people forget about this deaf people that like to go to concerts. I love Beyonce. You know, I use that because she's popular now all over the world. But I notice that she includes ASL interpreter. I couldn't go to her concert, but I had an opportunity to see some video snippets on Facebook, Instagram. But it's really deep when you plan for events and plan for ASL interpreter. That's just not just for concerts, plays, even worship experience. Even if you have a meeting or community meeting, I'm big here in New Jersey. I'm a strong advocate. I'm constantly knocking on the doors of the mayors, the senators. Where's your interpreter? There's deaf people. We vote. We have a right. We need to know. We're taxpayers. We need to know this information. So it's crucial. They know my face when I walk in. Where's the interpreter? Even though I request for it, or my deaf friends or individuals request, they provide it because they know it's a requirement. And people sometimes like, oh, they overlook it with the ADA. Oh, we give you a reasonable accommodation. And my biggest thing, oh, we didn't have enough time. Whenever I notice it's a meeting, I send a request right away. Give you enough time. I don't want to hear no excuses, not nowadays, because there's a lot of interpreters out there doing the work.
Absolutely. And we see an amazing one on the screen who I shared has interpreted for presidents. That's with an S, along with other celebrities. Certainly she's had a global impact, Miss Cheryl Henderson. But Mr. Halley, I would ask the question, if you will. Speak to us, those who might be watching this broadcast that are deaf, and maybe in a situation where they need hope. How would you pour into them and those of us who can hear, being the advocate that you are?
That is a great question. Wow. Being an advocate for those who are deaf or hard of hearing. But I want to start with this. A little hope, of an encouragement. Learn a little sign language. That will make a difference. Personally, if you ever meet a person that sign, they will teach you the language. As you learn, you may be feeling nervous and be like, oh, I'm scared to talk to that person. But that person will give you hope. Their face will light up as a Christmas tree to know that I have somebody in this world to communicate, to sign. It's the little things that matter. To give hope to everyone. Learn my culture. Learn my language. Learn how to communicate. Instead of saying, you tell him what I want. No, talk to me. I'm an individual just like you. And I will use my interpreter to voice for me or sign for me. Those are that. Ask me. I am a person. I can do what I can do, just like you can do. But the only thing I can't do is hear fully. But I can do great works, just like you.
Your reputation speaks for itself, so I know that's the case, sir. Tell us, you are certainly based in New Jersey and making a huge impact within government, within community, even individually as a mentor. What are you seeing? How can government help with during this Deaf Awareness Month?
I'm grateful because of my mom and my grandmom, their education they share to empower. So that's important to have your identity. I know who I am. I'm a Black man, deaf in America. And I stand strong at what I do. It's the involvement here in New Jersey. Not only we as individuals, we involved with local government. I use several of these things that occur. I am the president and founder of Deaf Advocacy Group for the state of New Jersey. I work with local government officials and state government officials on various different policies and information to be involved. I'm at the table. I sit on the council for the governor's office for the state of New Jersey, Office of DDHH for the deaf community. Also, I'm on the board of ethics for the city of Jersey City. Ethics, the government, understanding rules and regulation, those important things. Also, I sit on the board of Federal Quality Health Center, the FQAC. Understand for the city of Newark. Those are important things to be at the table, to be able to understand, being deaf, so are you going to the health center or working for the city? It's important. The government the state needs to see different people to be involved when they have questions or surveys to be able to propose. I'm grateful for our organization. We have a bill here in New Jersey called AR 35. We've been doing the work since 2016. We are asking law enforcement to know basic ASL. If I get pulled over and I can't hear you and you talking, and like I said before, a Black man in America, we know what the climate is looking like now. We got a target on us. And I'm going to deviate a little bit. I'm an HVT, high value target. If you're in the military, you're looking for an HVT, a high value person, and you want to take them out. And that's who we are as Black men, HVT, high value target. And I share that because with law enforcement, you get pulled over. The communication. They don't know how to do sign language. They think I'm signing or I may be grabbing something and they shoot me innocently because I use my hands to communicate. Or another deaf person. And that's crucial. But if you speak Spanish, you could call for an officer, speak Spanish like that. But how many of your states officers know sign language? Here in New Jersey, it's only 1%. That's sad. Just imagine all over the United States. That's even sadder. So that's why it's important that I advocate and I get involved. And our organization do various different things. We out in the community. There's a problem, there's always a solution. So cops, being Black in America, they're going to learn some sign language. I'm grateful for local law enforcement that we work with. This awesome organization called BLECS. They call it BLESS. Black Law Enforcement Serving the Community. They are very involved in New Jersey, from corrections to Amtrak police, state police, local police, their involvement. We partner with them to help us travel through the state of New Jersey teaching. We have record numbers. Over 15,000 officers know basic sign language. I see them in passing. Thank you for teaching me. I had a pullover to help me communicate with that deaf person. I had to help deliver a woman who had a baby and she was deaf. Those are amazing stories that you don't hear, but officers know sign language. And I'm grateful for one of our officers, a part of our organization. His name is Sergeant Lamar Towns of Orange Police Department. His police department, 160 officers know basic sign language. That's one township. And we created a placard they use for the community because they have about 40 deaf people live in their area. They want to make sure they was included. That is a huge blessing. That's a change. That's an impact. My desire to spread this knowledge across the world, not here in New Jersey. I work with people in California, in Texas, North Carolina, Washington, D.C. They call me, Thyson, how do you do that? I'm willing to help, mentor, guide you, to encourage you, because we need people. I stand on the shoulders of others. Now people are looking up to me to help them do the work. So I'm forever grateful for what I learned. I just used those two. Just recently, today, it was a blessing to go to a hospital, teach doctors, nurses, healthcare workers, just basic signing when you come in, your name, your address, you heard, where, until the interpreter or the VRS, the video screen to come to get some information because it's hard. And not today, was a life changing because I know our organization did some work today. So it's great visions that's happening, that's coming to pass. And we got great work to do. The work is not done. And I'm continuing with my amazing organization of deaf advocacy, the state of New Jersey. How this got started, our great mayor of North New Jersey, Ras J. Baraka. That man had a vision, and he came to our place of worship and had a town hall meeting to conversate with those who are deaf and hard of hearing and the residents. During that time, the deaf was there. They was looking for interpreters. We had the interpreters in the house ready to do the work. And we did what we did, interpreted. That started deaf advocacy from right there in 2016. And the work, our great mayor, he signs. And he started a town hall meeting with those who are deaf. They meet every year, talk about issues, jobs, healthcare, housing. We are at the table. Not me, those individuals. We have street signs. We have officer signs. We have people in City Hall signs. When you go in, you treat it equally. And that's the amazing part. And we love what we do.
Woo! Wow. Yes, sir. That's why we have you here on the Power Up. Thank you so much. No, but what I heard, I would love to reiterate, and that's first, that there is a way to make an impact. Not just yourself, but even if it's just you starting, others joined, and now look at the outcome. And as you did highlight, thank you that you stand on the shoulders of others who one at a time fought for advancement. So it's our job to continue in that fight. Mr. Halley, I know we only have a few minutes left, but if you could share a little more about the Division of Deaf and Hard of Hearing in New Jersey and how individuals can tap in and support your work there.
Okay. This organization is the state office in the state of New Jersey. They do wonderful work for our state. And I'm grateful for partnership under the direction of Elizabeth Hill for her great work and leadership. She's involved with our community, getting things done. For an example, fire alarms for those who are deaf that need it. You know what I mean? Hearing aids for those who are needed. Doorbells if you need it. Resources, interpreting services. We have a list of interpreters that you can use that we can offer for the community. And it's just more of an inclusion, not just only the deaf and hard of hearing. We have a national organization called National Association for the Deaf. That's based out of Maryland, DC area. They do great work. You can look up there. That's the chief advocate. So we look up to them and we take the information that we need to be able to. Sometimes I look at this. Everything is not for everybody. And it's not one size fit all. It may work in your area, but may not work in our area. There's different levels of deaf needs. So my requirements may be different from your requirements. So I tell people that we can take and we can adapt and apply it to what we need. So I'm grateful for the applying and the knowledge and just sitting at the table, discussing, thinking, strategizing. How can we do better? Like I said earlier, there's always a problem, but I come with a solution. And that's key. My grandmother always said, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution. And that will help develop what we need to know as a community, especially Deaf Awareness Month, to get involved, do the work, do your research, purchase, go to a restaurant that is deaf. In the DMV area, there are great restaurants that have deaf. One of my favorite things when I go to DMV, I like the Starbucks. It's deaf. I can order my refresher, strawberry refresher, and sign it. Don't have to speak it or write it out. That's the cool part when I go to my Starbucks in DC. So I love it. So I just share that with you. I'm not advertising these companies, but I just share the places that support deaf people. Do your business support deaf people? Let's make a difference.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Halley. Family, Deaf Awareness Month is meant to elevate our consciousness, our awareness. I love Mr. Halley said we should be at the table. We should be included. If you're doing something, I want to do it too. I love your rawness, your perspective, and thank you for sharing your transparency, your journey, and grandma with us, because I think we all had a few of those that poured into us. Mr.
Yes.
Halley, thank you. I want to personally thank your phenomenal, amazing interpreter, global success she is, Cheryl Henderson. I thank you so much. Be blessed. You're awesome, and we look forward to having you back here in the future as an advocate. Family, stay tuned. There's more after this.
Hi, guys. It's Tina Wynn, your host of the podcast, You See Me. I want you guys to stay encouraged, continue to come out and see me, and most importantly, see yourselves. Remember, the only way that you can truly enjoy life is to see other people so that you can enjoy the beauty of seeing yourself. Come join me Saturdays at 4 on the We Empowered Network. Thank you.
Hey everybody, this is Regina Hutt, the wellness practitioner on Empowered Mornings. We'd like to invite you every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., uniquely and gorgeous, to keep your mind locked and loaded on WIN Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. I'm your host, Tami, and we're now going to move forward into our health front. The health front designed to educate and elevate us on information, medically sound resources, and how we can be better. Today on the health front, we want to remind you that you've got to listen to your body. There are times when we don't and we run ourselves ragged and then end up in emergency care. Do you know that it costs more to provide emergency room services than preventative care? So, what you do at home in habits and a lifestyle can help you not have to wait for 7 hours in an emergency room waiting room. Family, listening to your body simply means thinking about the necessities that will help you live well. This health front is designed to share some tips so that you can be the best you. So here you go. Enjoy the food you love because life is good, right? But when you listen to your body, you want to listen to how you digest, how you feel afterwards, what your next day may be like after consuming those foods. Let me give you an example. One of the best things about Thanksgiving dinner is piling that plate high with everything on the table. But you ever noticed how then you've got to unloosen your pants and you've got aches and pains, and maybe that acid reflux has kicked in, gastritis, and all of the, come on now, without being too visual, having too much becomes painful. Listening to your body means at the table, your stomach will start to tell you when it's full. Can you package the rest for later? Can you even give yourself a short break by drinking water and fluids to allow your digestive tract to do what it's meant to do? You can't cram but so much into a glass, into a bowl. So why cram that much into your stomach? Another tip is making time for yourself, understanding how valuable the 24 hours are in the day, and how those of us that just wear ourselves out doing 1,000 things or even running on 1,000, at some point your body needs its rest. Making time for yourself to refresh, to renew, to even revive. Come on, replenish what you lost is important when you listen to your body. Here's some tips. Your mind will tell you when you're feeling a headache come on, right? But do you do something when you feel it coming on or just deal with the effects once it's there? Because folks who live with migraines know once it has become full blown, all you can do is wait for it to pass. There are some things your body does to speak to you. Are there smells that you hadn't noticed before? Could be a cavity coming. Uh-huh. Are you forcing yourself to squint to see? Your body's telling you you need specs or aid. Family, sometimes just doing what we need to be the best us is what will help us in the future. Think about it. When you care for your eyes now, they'll last better in 20, 30 years, your senior years, when you still want to see in the distance. You still want to read your favorite magazine. You still want to make sure you can purchase your own tickets to go on your trips because the sisterhood seniors are on the road. Family, you've got to listen to your body. Remember, you only get one. So, how you care for it is what will help sustain you as you age, as gravity takes over, as things change because nothing stays the same. There are seasons in the planet as there are seasons in life. Another tip is be aware of how you react to stress. Uh huh. See, it's one thing for stress to have a situation, for you have to deal with stress, right? You've got a lot of phone calls, your phone is constantly ringing, you're running into meetings, you've got a busy schedule, you're dealing with flights and traveling that can cause stress. There are things in the atmosphere, in the air that cause stress. You're already dealing with so much. How you handle it can be the difference, and your body will inform you. If you notice your heart is pounding, your body's trying to tell you that situation is causing your heart rate to increase. Unless it's fight, flight, or fleeing, you want to make sure that you're handling the pressure so that the pressure doesn't make you explode. How you handle stress can be the difference. Stress will put individuals in the hospital. Stress can even cause heart attacks. Family, what is your body telling you today? Are your knees aching more than usual? Do you have that hip that keeps starting to bother you where you're wiggling a little more, stretching more? Listen to what your body's saying and then come on and get empowered to do something about it. Yes, speak to your medical professional. Yes, seek information so that you'll know what a name is associated with so you can be empowered and study up on that thing and be a resource. Be your own advocate. Help somebody else who's dealing with the same information. One of the viable resources that we share here is WebMD. WebMD constantly shares information as a great resource on everything from superfoods to how you can deal with foot pain to how to recover from surgeries. mental health resources, even those relationship issues. WebMD can provide information real time on conditions, symptoms, and even on things you might not think are important. They also share health news. Do you want to know what's going on? What new medicines might be available for something you're dealing with? How about that footache that you've been having? They might have an article on it that can help you. Family, listen to your body. See, you're amazing, but you still want to be amazing for years to come. What you do now is what will help you in the upcoming days, years, through your lifespan. You want to still get up, drive, then you've got to care for everything that helps you get up and drive. You want to still be able to run your book club, travel as frequently as you do. You've got to care for yourself. And when your body starts to react to things, it's nature telling you you need to pay attention to something and be okay shifting. How about be okay with making change? A lot of folks fear getting glasses because of how they make me look. Honey, I'd rather see than worry about what your opinion is about what I look like. Come on, somebody. We are empowered to be amazing. So, what are you doing with your power? The Power Up team shares resources to help you. Consider rest. Consider how you handle stress. Consider how foods affect your body. You might not be able to eat that full rack of ribs like you were able to. That whole gallon of ice cream might not digest because your lactose intolerance as you age. You never know until you listen to what you're saying to you. Stop ignoring the signs. Accept that something's going on and seek professional help so you can be better. And make sure that you care for those aging seniors around you so they can be fabulous too. Those children, you're noticing something is when you want to make sure to sign them up to go to the pediatrician. That's why annual physicals are so important. Family, we're here just to make sure to elevate your mindset so that you can make a difference where you are. We need the greatness in you, in the earth right now. So go be great and stay healthy. Remember, you only get one you. Listen to yourself. Family, we're going to move forward into our wrap up. What a powerful show. So stay tuned. There's more after this.
Life has its way of being sweet, and life has its way of being spicy.
You did not have to hit me there.
Girl, I did not hit you.
Anywho, life has its way of being hard, and life has its way of being easy. Join us every second Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time,
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time
at the We Empower Network. Tune in to the Sweet
and Spicy
Podcast. Hope to see you there.
Bye.
Hey, it's Coach Piangel Jones from the Empowered Morning Show, and I'm reminding you to watch All Things Well 4 Thursdays right here on the WIN Network.
Welcome back to the Power Up. What a power-packed show. We started with global news where we shared the alerts that were elevated by the World Health Organization on the tuberculosis epidemic across the world. How important it is to stay educated so that you can be equipped in your area. If you'd like to find out more information, you can go to the World Health Organization at who.nit. They are a global advocate. Also, here in the nation. Remember, if something's elevated as a global issue, that means it touches the United States as well. You can go to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Tuberculosis is airborne. You breathe it in and it affects your lungs, just like COVID-19. How important is it to be educated, not walk in fear, and certainly not walk in judgment of those around you who might be living with the disease, because we're all living with something. We are here to equip you with how you can find out resources and get information to share with those around you so that we're better together. We then moved into an amazing segment during this Deaf Awareness Month with two phenomenal guests. We want to thank a community advocate based in New Jersey, Mr. Thyson Halley, and the global interpreter to the stars, Miss Cheryl Henderson. Grateful they both took time to join us to share how we can make a difference in our communities, be inclusive to our deaf brothers and sisters, remembering that we're all one human race. Then we shared information on the health front of how we've got to remember to listen to our bodies. We only get one, and we want to remain as powerful as possible and do greatness now to care for it so that as we age, we're that much better. WebMD is an amazing resource for getting information where you need to learn about your body or even current health events. Consider tapping into them and gaining insight into how you can live well. Family, we want to wrap up our show today highlighting some extraordinary information. Did you know that recently an astronaut, Mr. Frank Rubio, spent 371 days in space? That's more than a year. 371 days, he set the record for how long a NASA astronaut had been in space. He returned to Earth 47 years old after breaking that record and returning to the International Space Station, going through interviews in Kazakhstan, and now returned to the United States. Interesting that in his feat of stardom, his amazing advancing science, he dealt with himself now, physical implications. You got to think about it. Extraordinary people are extraordinary, often at a cost. He now has his body to adapt to gravity. He's been floating for over a year. And his first thoughts, how his body now needs to go through medical treatment so it can adapt. But what an amazing venture and feat for the advancement of science. Can I tell you that while Mr. Rubio may have broke a record, you are just as extraordinary. See, you don't have to go to outer space to make a difference where you are. You don't have to get on the global news and have people know you by name. What you do have to do is leave this world exhausted of all the gifts and talents that are inside of you. Extraordinary is what you have as your own perspective. See, we look for validation from folks to give us a title. You're great. You're phenomenal. You are life-changing. Can I give you something to consider? You're all those things if no one ever tells you that. But what are you doing in this moment to live and be the best you? What are you doing to affect change where you are? As Mr. Halley said, it's not about a disability, it's about using your abilities. Family, we have extraordinary individuals around us every day. Firemen who run into fires that we flee from. Police officers who run into places we fear. We have medical professionals who stand on the front line dealing with disease that we try to stay away from and guard ourselves to be protected from. Many extraordinary veterans and those who serve in our militaries that sacrifice their home life just so that we can have freedoms. Extraordinary, as are you. The Power Up team wanted to take this opportunity to remind you of the greatness that you are. You are enough. You are amazing. You are all you need. I want to share something a mentor did years ago in a group I attended. She said, write I am down at the top of a paper. And now give yourself permission to write down 10 things that you are. You're going to proclaim you are every day, so that you get to a point where you drop those seeds on yourself and your belief picks up. And now you're churning every day in that I am statement. And now you are, if you never hear it from someone else. And it's because I say I am. I am powerful. I am going to be an author. I am going to start my own TV show. I am going to sit in the presence of celebrities and influencers. I am going to start today to lose weight. I am going to lose. I am going to be more active. Because, see, once you start with a proclamation, it becomes a goal. And then you can put progress steps to it. And before you know it, daily habits. And now, honey, 2 years from now, you're looking back saying, not just I am, but I did. Family, our job is to equip, educate, empower, and elevate you. Take this moment, pull out that paper and write I am at the top. Start with 10 and then give yourself 20. Before you know it, you are your number one fan. Not seeking validation from anyone, including your boo. Learning self-love, purpose, and feeling fulfilled just because I'm me every day of the week. Now, that doesn't mean all days are good days. Sometimes you reference that I am list to encourage yourself. I am going to write this book when you're in the middle of it and it doesn't seem like you're finished. Gives you the hope. Okay, I said I am, I'm going to do it. So that becomes your cheerleader in a distance. Remember, when you write a vision and make it plain, it has a way of coming alive and pouring back into yourself. Figure out what you need and move forward. That's your progress step. Then your daily habits. You know, if you want to lose 50 pounds, that's great. It's attainable. Everybody's losing weight. Why can't you? But here's the thing. You didn't gain all that weight overnight. So you're not going to lose it overnight. Habits, progress. Remember, even a toddler that's trying to walk falls down but gets right back up, and falls down and gets right back up, and falls down and gets right back up. But till they get to what they're going to, that ball or that toy, or even mom and dad with their arms out, they're on a mission. Use your I am list. Use the extraordinariness about yourself to be your own Superman, Wonder Woman, change agent, global influence. Why not? Family, in everything you do, you leave a thumbprint. You leave a mark of you. And there's a birth date and a date of transition. It's what you do with that dash in the middle that makes the difference. That's what defines you as extraordinary, not people giving it to you. What you do. Are you living your dreams? Do you even know what your dreams are? Come on, flip that paper over and write your dreams. Because again, dreams can happen. If you ever dreamed about going to the moon, let me tell you something. Mr. Rubio just proved it's possible. There are folks who are not even astronauts that just pay money and they go into outer space. It's possible, is my point. But you've got to start. Got to start identifying it, believing it's possible, and then make an action, honey, so you can look back on your wins this time next year and celebrate. I did that thing. You know why? Because you can. You got this. You just have to believe in you. So we're grateful Mr. Rubio returned safely after more than a year in space, showing everybody what possible looks like. But your atmospheric dreams can still happen, even if it's, I've wanted to be a coach. There are boys and girls clubs looking for you, waiting on you even to help coach the babies. Maybe I've always wanted to be a counselor. I love listening to people and I love creating space and I love, there are certifications and programs you can get. And yes, the world is waiting for you, for my globe trotters. Doesn't mean you got to go from here to Egypt tomorrow. You might want to start local with those staycations, but start because you deserve to be happy. We hope the segments today were helpful. We again thank Mr. Halley and Ms. Henderson for joining us. I do want to share Mr. Halley's resource on how you can connect with him in New Jersey so that you can support Deaf Awareness Month and all that they do as great work in the community advocates. The Division of Deaf and Hard of Hearing is another resource and way to connect during Deaf Awareness Month. It's just worth echoing how we all might look different, act different, be different, are built different, sound differently, because we're uniquely designed to be that way. No one's meant to be the same. But even if you look like your twin, your heart, your thoughts, your desires are uniquely driven. We applaud Mr. Halley for his advocacy, for his push, for his way of elevating causes. Family, what can you take from his experience so you can do the same thing? There are causes around you that need your voice. There are issues in your community that need your vote when it comes to city council meetings, civic association assemblies. You have the power to make a difference where you are. We've shared that there's a looming government shutdown and how you can talk to your congressmen, the ones you vote in office, to let them know it's not okay. You have a voice on local levels, on state and county levels, even federal government and global levels. It takes each of us to come together to make a difference. Thank you for joining the Power Up today. We hope you feel empowered to make a difference. We hope you feel educated to help those around you. Learn something new from this show and from our guest. We thank the We Empowered Network for continuing to host this informative platform, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.